By the Hollow, 14532 Brook Hollow and 281.
Baby, dance the night away. I let my head down if I want. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being...
Hi, you guys. It's me, Trudy. Good afternoon. It's me, Trudy, with Trending with Trudy. And yes, I do have Rick here with me, my favorite co-host. Right?
Yes.
Thank you for always
I hope
being available.
Am I your favorite?
No, probably not my favorite, but just the most available.
Okay. I'll take it. I'll take that.
No, you are my favorite.
No, it's always fun. Always fun.
And tell everybody where we are.
We're at the Hollow, at the corner of Brook Hollow and 281. 14532
Brook Hollow.
Got it. Finally.
We got this.
After 9 years.
Yes, and after 9 years, and we do have Beverly in the house and Julie in the house serving up some great drink specials, and of course, don't forget they have a whole kitchen that's great food. The hamburger is one of my favorites. Their quesadilla is great.
Everything's good.
Everything's so good. After this show, we are definitely going to have to order some good lunch. I know, right? And today was so pretty compared to yesterday.
Beautiful, yes.
Yesterday was a little bit of a crazy weather.
Welcome to Texas. It's Texas.
Severe weather. It's Texas. You never know.
Yeah.
I let the girls out, the dogs out this morning, and it was a little chilly. I was like, I'm going to have to put a sweatshirt on. And then, by 10 o'clock, it's like,
Did you put little sweaters on the girls?
I should have.
Surprised you didn't.
I so should have.
They got a bigger closet than I do.
They do. They have shoes. They have dresses. They have sweatshirts.
Yes. They got Halloween
costumes. You don't want to be whiskey, though, because don't forget, if y'all remember, I did dye my poor little whiskey girl green to be Oscar the Grouch.
But she didn't chase at all.
She was just like that for 3 weeks.
She's the chillest dog in the world.
I know.
I love you.
So how's everything going with you? Everything good?
Everything's great.
Yeah?
Yeah. Loving the weather. You know me in gray weather. I'm a flower. Yeah. I need sunshine. Yeah.
Sunshine.
Drinks. Sunshine and drinks.
You can't go without. Yeah. So you guys,
fun.
Don't forget. I know I've been begging for this, and I'm going to beg for it again. I need y'all to go to YouTube and download us, like it, follow us, share it. I need y'all's help. Please. And look, I'm like, yes, I am begging. But go to YouTube, because this is where it's all going to be, right?
Yes.
And I'm so excited, because today we are having a very special guest. His name's Gregory. And he has developed an amazing program.
Yeah, he's got
awesome dad.
He's got a great story.
Yeah, he does. So we're going to chime in with him here in a little bit. But just to kind of set the mood for a little bit of sports, just because it's all over right now. We've got the season opener for Caitlin Clark.
That's
tonight,
right. That's right.
Fever. We heard today that the Cowboys and the Browns are going to be one of the first games.
I didn't know that.
And guess who's calling the game?
Tony Romo.
I will be. I'm just kidding. Even better, Tom Brady.
Really?
Yeah.
This should be fun.
So you know what he said today to Michael Strahan? He said, I'm going to have to get used to calling them America's team.
Oh,
because
he doesn't like them either?
Yeah.
That should be fun. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. So, and then we
have... The Stars won.
The Stars won. Avalanche won. I know our friend Tony Palmieri is very, very excited about this.
And the Mavs, they're down 2-1?
They are down 2. Well, are they?
I don't know.
No.
I don't. Yeah.
Oh, get your facts together, bro. You're going to talk about it.
I think they're down 2-1.
I think you're right. I was just trying to deter from that.
I watched hockey last night.
I did too.
Yeah.
It was very exciting.
Yeah.
It's so late, though. How come we get the game so late?
I don't know. Roger Goodell? No.
Oh, God, blame everything.
We're going to blame everything on Roger Goodell.
Something else for basketball.
Hooker in the house.
Hooker in the house.
Hooker in the house.
Thanks for joining us, sir.
Good to see you guys.
LeBron James's son is cleared to play.
Okay.
Because remember he had a little baby stroke, or he had some heart issues.
Oh.
But yeah, he's good to go.
Okay, well that's good to hear.
And guys, I don't mean to talk about sports all the time, But why not?
I
It's
do.
the easiest thing. It's the easiest thing to go by. Whether you love it, like it. I mean, look, they're showing here at the Hollow live from the PGA, Scotty Scheffler.
So while we're on sports, let's talk about Rory McIlroy this weekend.
Won the Wells Fargo. Talk about all his birdies.
He was what? He was trailing Scheffler
10 under.
Yeah, and then on the back nine, Scheffler just had a bad half round. He had like 4 or 5 bogeys. Rory had 4 or 5 birdies and 2 eagles, and just ran away with it. Yeah,
that's insane.
No, it was a great. Well,
you know, he's my friend.
Now he is.
Well, because I was really lucky to video him 10 feet away from me here at the Texas Open. So he's my friend.
But I mean, I'm this close to you all the time, and I'm still not your friend.
No. Get a golf club, make some birdies, maybe win a championship.
Yeah.
And, but for now, you're just, the co-host.
But Rory, when you watched him, he was just acting like no pressure, no big deal. Just another,
Kind of like you.
Oh, crap. If I was on the golf course for that much money.
I've seen you on the golf course. I've seen you on the golf course.
Looking for my golf ball puts me under pressure.
Of course. So again, we're going to have a very special guest coming in. His name's Gregory. Let's see. But right now, don't forget, we are at the Hollow, and I see the girls serving up drinks, actually taking a few shots right now.
It's good for them.
Did you see the roast?
I did. Well, I didn't watch all of it. I've seen most of it.
Oh, you've seen enough?
It's funny stuff. But all the drama behind it, and people complaining, and people getting their feelings hurt. But he's the one getting roasted, and he didn't complain. It's everybody else complaining.
I know.
The Aaron Hernandez one, I get that. It was a funny joke, though.
It was a funny joke.
But his fiance is worried about his daughter, and I get that. But it was still funny.
Okay, I mean, it's supposed to be, right?
I'm laughing right now thinking about it.
Well, he's a father.
But you know what the joke was, right?
Go ahead.
No, I don't know the whole thing. We'll talk. I'll fill you in some other time. It's about private parts and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. So somebody had said something about Tom, about how small he was.
No.
And somebody goes, well, you played with a guy named Aaron Hernandez, and he was kind of hung.
You guys.
Which I said, but his poor daughter. You just
Speaking of.
You asked me to tell you, so I told you.
Let's go ahead and go into dad stuff. And can we please bring in Gregory right now? Is he available? I believe there he is. Hi, Gregory.
What's up, buddy?
How are you?
Good.
Thank you so much for being here. I mean, I know that it's been a busy week for you. We've got lots of fun questions. Tell us exactly what made you start this website, this program that has made you completely successful and in this industry, in this subject.
Okay. Yeah. So back in 2008, I lost my job, and I became newly single. Finally, called it quits with my daughter's mom, and I was like, "What am I going to do?" And so, I was on unemployment. I mean, you name it. Any government program, I was out there until I started my company. Well, I started looking online to find things to do with my daughter, and there was nothing on there. There are no websites that I could find that had activities and events and stuff like that for guys. So I created it. And so when I did that, I found things that you could do with the kids for free in San Antonio. Some of the guys that we deal with, their demographics are from 30,000 a year all up to 4 million a year. And so a lot of guys that don't have a lot of money, they want to be able to do things with their kids when they have them. So I developed this site to be able to find things to do with the kids that don't cost money, like outdoor movie night. There's a lot of them here in San Antonio that you can do, and they're free. You take a blanket, you take some food, and you just enjoy the movies. So that was the main reason why I started this site.
Well, that sounds awesome. And you're right. A lot of people don't know a lot about these free events. They think that, oh my gosh, we have to spend so much money. What do we do? And it feels like, the kids are always going to be on their device. They're always going to be, stuck in the games, in the social media. So it's like, the challenges that you have to educate your kids is got to be a little struggle. So how do you take them from saying, "Hey, let's go bowling, let's go to the museum"? How
Yeah,
do you?
getting a kid off a cell phone or an iPad is probably one of the most difficult things that you can do. Um, so one of the things that I share with guys is, you know, it's kind of like taking Velcro apart. It's difficult. So when you finally get it apart, say, look, you know what? I tell you what, we're gonna go do this, we're gonna do that. And usually 9 times out of 10, when they start doing these different events, they start finding things to do. They start having fun, the park or outdoor movie nights, or some of the museums here, they have a free, like on Tuesdays at the Whitty, I believe it's free. So once, and also monitoring their time on social media, that's imperative, and monitoring their activities on social media. When my daughter was young, she's like, "Well, why are you monitoring my phone?" I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, it's not your phone. We paid for it." So that's the thing about social media. I mean, you have to kind of really take a hard line on it and say, "Look, here are the ground rules for social media, and here's the thing." The reason why I preach this is because nobody's heard about this. It's called the Yellow app. And the Yellow app is a Tinder for teenagers. And the FBI and some of these other organizations are trying to shut it down, because what was happening was these men who were older were pretending to be underage kids, and it was getting very dangerous. So there's a lot of things out there that we have to be very, very conscious of, and monitor some of the kids at younger ages to make sure that we know what they're doing and they're safe.
That's really scary because
It is.
something that I keep seeing on the news, which I'm sure you've heard about multiple times, is this fentanyl. They're
Yeah.
substance abuse without. The kids think they're going to vape and it's going to be okay. They think that they can take this little pill, it's going to be fine. But a lot of times, this is a dangerous thing that they don't even know about. Not many people are, I guess, well aware of it enough.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you even dip into that and tell your kid, "Hey, listen, don't be taking everything, even though you want to be cool with the crowd"? That's so scary. I don't have kids. Rick, you don't have kids. I have nieces and nephews. As I've talked to you, Gregory, we've mentioned that. It's a scary thing.
Yeah. So here's the thing, and I'm posting it on the website this week. There are certain things that you can look for in your kid that will let you know that they're going down this road.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I went through that. I tell guys, the hardest thing you're going to have to do is say no and set boundaries, and don't be a lifesaver. And in some cases, you're going to have to kick the kid out of the house. If it gets to that point, then that there's nothing you can do if they're going to want to change when something happens to make them want to change.
Yeah.
Rehab and the safe houses and all that other stuff, which was done, is only kind of a band-aid on top of it. The kids who are doing this are going to change when they want to, and when they want to, you have to be understanding and patient enough to say, okay, we will be supporting you 1,000%, but there's going to be some ground rules. When I went to a group and dealt with this, there are some hard decisions that parents have to make in that situation. And as much as those decisions, you have to make them. But there are signs when they start going down a path that it's going to be very dangerous.
Well, I think, this day and age, and I say this, and I was brought up by very strict parents. And I feel like this day and age, most parents want to be friends with their children.
And that's the problem.
I think you can weigh it out both ways. But at the same time, they have to be taught, listen, this is wrong. You can't do this. You have to be careful. You have to be aware. And, being in school, the teachers these days, we have many friends that are teachers and counselors and psychologists, and it's a very difficult place for them to be in. And so you have to split the time between watching them at school, and then when they come home, they're having to learn a whole different thing. Because our teachers, yes, they're with them for 9 hours a day. I mean, bless their hearts.
Yeah.
They're teaching them a lot of things. But when you split it and you come home, your dad was a hands-on dad.
Yeah,
Rick?
well, he was military, so yeah.
And so, Greg, how do you go about going and saying, okay, yes, you're learning this at school, but when you come home, you're going to teach them how to change the tire, life lessons, those things. Tell me, how do you go about that?
Life lessons are very important, and I've had this discussion with some guys, and they don't teach the basics in school anymore. They don't teach basics of finance, how to save money. They don't teach about cooking, folding, ironing. That was taught to me when I was a kid. My daughter, and when she was younger, I told her, I said, look, I love you very much. I'm not your friend, I'm your dad. And there's been decisions that I've had to make that she just was not happy about. But the thing is that my daughter knows that the oil is the blood of the car. She knows how to change a tire. She knows how to do these things. So it's a very imperative for dads to talk to their sons and daughters about how to do these things around the house, how to open up a savings account and put away a certain percentage of your paycheck every week to be able to save money. Compound interest. That's the big thing. I taught my daughter that if you start off now with $500 and you put in $50 or $100, by the time you're 65, you'll have $1.7 million. And so these are the things they don't teach the kids that was taught to me when I was young. So
everyday living.
So, Greg, let me say, I've looked at your website and I'm really impressed in what you put together there. And I believe I read on there you were talking about cyberbullying, and I come from an older generation, and on your website you had said that at one point in time bullying was a rite of passage, and that's how I grew up. It was just part of life, but it's a whole different ball game now. As far as cyberbullying, your kids getting bullying, we grew up differently, where bullying was accepted. We just dealt with it, but it's a whole new dangerous game now.
Yeah, it's a different road.
It was completely different. I mean, when I was a kid, they didn't. Again, I didn't have. We didn't have social media. If you had a problem with somebody, you went up to them and say, "Hey, look, we got a problem," and you dealt with it. Now everything's so easy with the social media, and it's very easy to bully somebody because it's not personal. It's not one of those things where you can talk it out. It's just it gets out of control. And so with my daughter, I basically I talk to different guys. When I do the mentoring. I teach them, look, man, you have to understand how to deal with online bullying now. It's a totally different battle.
Yeah.
And so do you tend to, as a father, do you monitor these devices? Does she allow you to monitor them?
Not anymore now because she's 19. And she's pretty much on her own. But when she was younger, yes, there was monitoring, there was accountability. The thing about it is that these apps make it so easy for them to mask you, because you'll have an app that'll say GPS, but in the background it's running Tinder, or not Tinder, but Snapchat, right?
Wow.
So there's so many smoke and mirrors when it comes to these systems. So that's why parents have to be extremely diligent and sometimes be very unpopular when it comes to telling their kids, "Look, I'm going to monitor this phone." And if you violate the rules, have a written contract with your kid, have them sign it.
Wow.
Right? And then
that's not a bad idea. I like that.
Yeah. We have a dad's pledge for dads, but the written contract is really big for monitoring cell phones.
That's amazing. That's a great idea. Again, you guys, if y'all are watching this and y'all want to reach out to him, it's awesomedadssa.com. And Greg, I know that you have a book as well that people would love to read and ask questions about. And tell me a little bit more. It's Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters.
Yeah, that book was written by Dr. Meg Meeker, and it says the 12 things every dad should know. The one thing that I would like every man to take away from that is be the man you want her to marry. That one chapter was extremely powerful, because as a dad, who do you want her to marry? Are you going to set the foundation and the expectations for your daughter and son who you want them to marry, or be with. That's your actions. Men's consistent actions speak volumes. You can tell your kids to do stuff all day long, but if you do not set the tone, set the example, and set the foundation for them, it's just words. They will not believe you. But that book is an amazing book.
You know what? I mean, I can't agree. That's 100%. And I've never heard that, but yeah, that's just spot on the money. Yeah.
It sounds like you have a great program. If anybody wants to reach out to you, where can they reach you other than awesomedadssa.com?
So on our contact page, it has my email address and it has my cell number. We're going to start doing more motivational speaking for dads, and kind of they have different series about things that we can talk about, and basically let them know, hey, look, you know what? Here's some of the things that you can do for every stage of your kid's life to handle what's going to happen in today's world.
Well, and I know that you and I spoke about this earlier, or a couple days ago, that you had a program that you had fathers that had lost their jobs, and was it Cricket or one of the phone companies that you got them to donate phones for them to be able to connect with their kids and to make sure that they were in communication. How awesome is that?
Yeah, back in 2008, when the real estate market hit really hard, I went to Pocket and I said, hey, look, guys, I need 4 brand new cell phones with a year of service on each phone. And they looked at me like I was nuts. I said, look, here's why we done it. And we'll even get you on TV to kind of let people know what you've done. Well, sure enough, they gave us 4 phones with a year of service on each phone. And we got them on, I think it was Great Day SA or one of the morning shows, the Channel 4. And the dads, I went to some of the nonprofits and say, look, what dads do you have here that are struggling beyond recognition? And so we got 4 guys, and they got the phones, and we keep in touch periodically.
That is awesome.
No, it is.
You've done such great legwork, and I can tell that you just are an inspiration to many, many dads, many uncles, many mothers as well.
Well, what impresses me too is your daughter is pretty much almost an adult, but you're still keeping up with this. You're still providing help for San Antonio single dads. Your website is just absolutely amazing, and I recommend everybody to go look at it. Yeah.
Thank
yes,
you.
And also don't forget the email is awesomedads@gmail.com. If I'm assuming, Gregory, you're willing to take any kind of questions, any kind of information that anybody needs and wants, and I feel like you're the right person to go to.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we are. I mean, I am. So, yeah, thank you.
And so do you have any special events coming up in the near future?
So I'm planning I'm trying to plan some things coming up, because now that, everybody's getting out and doing more things, we're going to try and bring back our dad's luncheons, try and bring back a couple of the speaking engagements that I was doing at some of the local places here, and have different topics that we want to talk about. So if somebody says, hey, can you talk about this topic? Yeah, we definitely like to go talk with their group, and kind of, answer any questions they might have. Because me and some other guys have been through a lot, through pretty much every situation you can think of. So, given firsthand experience, I think we'd be okay with talking with them.
Well, and something else to talk about real quick is that kids love to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, right? I've got nieces and nephews who love to eat all day long. And we're just going to touch on this real quick, but there's places that are too expensive to take these kids to. So one, common thing to spend time with each other is to cook with each other, right? Doesn't that, I mean, I remember cooking with my dad, him barbecuing, him making hot dogs and hamburgers. And there's healthy ways to eat and inexpensive ways to eat. So wouldn't you say that's another bonding experience with your child?
Extremely correct. Here's the thing. When you cook with your kids, especially daughters, they just want to open up and talk with you. It's that one little time that you can share stuff with them. Because look, what do you think? What do you teach them when you cook? You teach them how to clean as you go, how to do measurements, how to do
so many things involved in that.
Exactly. And the thing is, our society is built on fast food, which is probably the worst thing you can eat.
Absolutely.
So and I teach parents, like, look, cook with your kids, because not only does it teach them how to start taking care of themselves, but at the same time, it's that family time, and it's a lot less expensive than eating out all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. And there's definitely different ways to, make your own salads and make your own hamburgers that
Right.
are, nice and healthy
Right.
and filling, right? You don't always have to go to McDonald's
Right,
or
of
Burger
course.
King or Whataburger, even though we
Yeah.
love it.
And
It gets expensive. Well,
Costco is my best friend. I mean, that's a
Okay,
great
there
place.
you go.
You buy anything for a whole week.
Yeah.
What
No.
is-
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
what is your favorite thing to do with your daughter right now?
Um, you know, she's been really busy, so we don't spend a lot of time together right now. But you know, we do like to get out once in a while. We've gone out to dinner a few times. She has a really busy lifestyle with her work and all the things that she does for extracurricular activities. So when we do something, it's just kind of like getting out, maybe having a bite to eat or something like that, you know. But back in the day, we used to. The big thing was we had a tradition. We still do. We would go to the Nutcracker every year. We'd
Oh,
go to
I
Nice.
dinner
love
at
that.
Bohannon's or something like that. Yeah, it was great. So we still have that tradition. And so we would get a nutcracker at the event. So she'd write in the bottom the year and the time we went and everything. So that's another thing. Dads, have date night with your daughter,
I
make
love
time
that.
for her,
Yeah.
and let them know that they can talk to you about anything. That's the
Yeah,
most important thing for daughters. Because if they don't feel they can open up to you, they're not going to talk to you.
exactly.
Yeah.
But have a
Exactly.
tradition. Have a tradition with your daughters.
Have a
That's
tradition.
it's very important.
Yeah.
Because it's always going to build memories. You'll always have memories in your back pocket and take lots of pictures, right? I
Yeah,
do.
we
I
have
do know
these
that.
now. We have
And
these.
you,
So
I do too.
there you go. Yes, it's
Yeah.
all right here.
Yeah.
Rick and I have a common thing, unfortunately, that we do not have our fathers anymore. But
No.
we have many, many memories of baseball games, football
Yeah.
games, soccer games, pictures, and
Yeah.
all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
But looking at your website reminded me, my dad was a single dad. He raised two boys. And then looking back on what he did with us when we were growing up, we didn't have any money, but fishing was number one.
Yep.
And looking back, why did my dad love fishing so much? Well, because it didn't cost a lot of money.
And it was quality time
And it was
together.
quality time. Until the day he died, that was our favorite thing to do. I would take him fishing, and we would just have the best time.
Yep.
But that's where it started, because Dad didn't have a lot of money, and fishing was always pretty much free.
Right.
So yeah.
It's all about quality time, right,
Right.
Greg? It's all about quality time and
It-
paying attention and being there for one another.
it really is. And I tell guys, and I talk to some guys sometimes, and they think that because they don't pick up their kid, they're punishing the mom because they have a bad relationship. That's not the case. Because at some point in time, that child is going to say, you know what, he didn't spend time with me, and it's going to come back on him later on. So I encourage guys, spend time with your kids, even if it's going to the park, hanging out. The littlest things matter so much. It's just half the battle is just showing up, and just being creative on what you do with the kids. There's so many things that you can do. For sons and dads, go to a ball game. Oh, one thing I am going to be working on is I'm going to have some of my corporate donors start donating again, so we can start having raffles for prizes.
I love that.
Fiesta Texas, Magic Theater, stuff like that.
Well, you make sure you let us know, and we'll put it up on our website. We'll put it up on YouTube. We might even be there live for some of these events. So you let us know. Gregory, thank you
Appreciate
so much for being here, and we look forward to having
Yeah.
you in the future for more stories, because I know you have a lot. So thank you so much. And
I look
again,
forward to
sorry, tell me.
So I look forward to being back on you. You guys are great.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
and I can't emphasize enough his website. Everybody needs to go check it out.
Awesome.
Even if you're not a single dad, go look at his website.
Awesome Dads of SA. Yes.
Awesome Dads
And-
of SA.
And if y'all have any
Yeah.
questions, make sure y'all email him at awesomedadsSATX@gmail.com, or you can also go through me and go through chattingwithtrudy@gmail.com, or you can find us on YouTube. You know how to find us, or you can find us here at the Hollow. But please, we want to hear from you. And again, thank you so much, Gregory. I just love his program.
No, it's
I think
amazing.
it's
It's
absolutely
amazing.
great.
It's amazing.
And I think that, in our day and age, like
Yeah.
I said, there's a lot of single men
Yeah.
that are raising kids.
Well, I'm wondering if my dad had something like that when I was growing up.
Mhm.
he did the best he could,
Yeah.
but he didn't have a list of places that he could take us.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, he figured it out. But yeah,
We were very blessed to have
Yeah.
our dads.
yeah.
You know,
My
push
dad's
us
life
through.
would have been a lot easier if we had Greg's website.
I know, Greg. Let's go back in time.
Let's go back in time about 60 years.
Aw. Did you just say your age?
No, I said
think
yours.
You did. Well, you guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Please go to YouTube, download it, like it, follow us, Trending with Trudy Show. And then we'll probably put some snippets on TikTok and a couple here on Facebook. But that was a really good interview with him.
It was.
And thank you so much for being
Well,
here.
always. I always
And
want to
again,
be
we're
here.
here at the Hollow, at Brook Hollow in 281 at 14532. Come see Beverly and Julie. They'll be here for most of the night, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And then the next girls will be coming in. But listen, they have a great food menu. If y'all are hungry, they've got.
Even if you're not hungry,
Even if
it's
you're
a great
not hungry,
menu.
it's a great menu. You have salads.
You don't have to be hungry to eat.
You have jalapeno poppers. I mean, it goes on and on. So yeah. So again, thank you to our producers and Jerry. You didn't chime in today,
Jerry's the best.
No,
what would we do without Jerry?
we wouldn't do it without Jerry. Are you kidding? So thank you so much, and we will see y'all soon. You're watching the Trending with Trudy show. Bye.